Hello, this is Sonja from My Happy Space. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do my first entry today in my new devotional, which is called The Perfect Sacrifice. I made this junk journal flip through, or not flip through, concertina file style in my previous video. So if you want to see how I've done that and you want to see what is in this devotional, what you get in this devotional, I will link the video up here. So I recommend you to go and check that out. And yeah, and then we're going to put our first page together. What I've done is I've studied the burnt offering. This devotion just quickly is situated in Leviticus, and we're looking at the 4 types of sacrifices or offerings the Israelites had to give and how it corresponds with Jesus and how it corresponds with our lives. So I've done my studying. I've looked at all the verses, wrote down my points about it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these points and I'm going to just make an entry in my Bible. I always wanted to do an entry in Leviticus. As you can see, there's nothing here. Numbers is the first one there is. Leviticus is totally empty. And as I said in the devotional, if you have made any entries in your Bible in Leviticus, I want to applaud you for that. I think it's amazing. Let me know down in the comments if you've done any entries in Leviticus before. I mean, there is definitely, I love Leviticus. As I said, I think there's so many wonderful gems in it. It is a hard book to read, but I think if you read it from perspective of what you can see, the pictures and the symbolic points towards Jesus, I think it is an amazing book to read. So let's put this together. Before I continue, last time I told you that I had one clear sticker paper sheet left. So that is what I've done. I've just taken some of the images, copy and paste it on an A4 piece of paper, and then I've printed it out. I want to use this in another entry, I think, and I think I'm going to use one of these images today. So let's hope it works out. It lives up to my expectations. So yeah, I've cut some things out. I've just sort of took the leftover printables from the devotional, and I've got my pattern paper here, leftover pattern paper. Obviously the good things of printables, you can print again. So what I want to do is now, I want to use a stencil. I often do that also in my sermon notes, but I use a smaller stencil. This is just an alphabet and sort of a typewriter's font type of thing, or more like sort of a school font. So I want to put it on my pattern paper, and then I just want to cut out burnt, and then I'll put offering in a different font up there, and then I want to do sort of here in the corner a cluster with at the back this clear sticker paper with lots of layers and soft and lace and things like that. So I definitely want to try that. So first of all, I'm going to put my Bible side and we're going to trace these letters. We're going to write burnt. And I think I'm going to use my black Koki, and I'm just going to actually create a black H. Oh, why do I start with an A? I should start with a B. I'm going to create a black sort of line around it. I think it's going to define it a little bit more, because with these type of letters which is apart, sometimes it's a bit difficult to see what it is. Let me do the B. Okay, I've done my lettering. I haven't cut it out totally. I'll do it later, closer to when I can put it up. I want to give it a background, maybe do some smoothing. So I'm just going to get my, I'll do my watercoloring or my distress oxide inks. Let me think. Okay, let's actually use my Gelatos, because as I said, I'm in a journey to use more of my things I don't use often. I've got a video about the things I use the least amount of time, so I'll link that video also up here if you're interested to go and see that. So I'm just going to see if I can find colors more or less. I want to obviously use these muted colors, purple. See what's the difference between these two purples. The one is more shiny. Maybe I'll use the shiny one. And what else? Blue also. Okay, I'll give these colors a go, and then we can make some smoothing. So with the smoothing technique, all you do is you rub whatever watercoloring or distress oxide inks on it. You can do that. Okay, so this is just a very subtle color. And the thing is, with any type of smoothing or layering, you always need to dry it in between. I've seen a different purple here, and I don't know which purple is going to work the best. I think I'm going to rather go for the more muted one. Let's try this one. I think the other one was a bit dry. Okay, let's try the more pink. I wonder if this one is not going to work better. I actually like this one. It's a bit more of a pink one. This is called Ice Current. This one was called, what is this called? Raspberry. It's actually strange. It doesn't really look to me like raspberry. And this one, the brown one, was called Champagne, Gold Champagne. I think I want to bring a little bit more purple in. I might want to give this a background. See if I can fill in the background here. So I don't like the white spaces. See if I can do that. At the moment it looks to me I'm just giving the blobs. I don't know if it's not wanting to go over the gelatos. But anyway, I wanted to give it a little bit more purple, so it's okay. Yeah, I think it's struggling to go over the gelatos. If anybody of you know the reason why it doesn't want to fill in the space at the back or the background, let me know. But I actually like this effect. I like this purpley blue. It's almost like it's so slick, the surface, that it actually doesn't want to grip. So let's do the little bit. There you go. I actually like that. Very nice. I'm glad I tried it. Obviously, I want to use this. Thinking, what image shall I use? I think I want to use this image. I know these images doesn't have actually much to do with the sacrifice, but maybe I should use the cross thing. Now, I think I'm going to use both, because obviously I like to think the fact that Jesus was our final sacrifice, or a perfect sacrifice, that the reason why he was perfect is because he has risen. He was without sin. He conquered death. So now I can't remember now. I think you don't really need to cut very much. I think I'm just going to cut as close as possible to the image, because sometimes it is a bit shiny on your page, and obviously I want to maybe create some other things also on the page, so I don't want it to be taken up by plastic. Not by plastic, but by clear sticker. So now I need to, I'm just thinking, okay, I'm first going to put it actually down and work around it before I commit where I'm going to put it. Okay. Maybe something like this. Okay, but first of all, I want to create a little envelope pocket, because I want to use some of these journaling cards to write down what my main takeaways. So I'm just going to look for I used maybe these two, the perfect sacrifice and burnt offering. So I'm going to use these journaling cards to write in. So I want to make almost yeah, an envelope for this. Okay, so what I've decided, I want to use this to make almost this fold up, yeah, pocket. I've used this for my Defemberember. That is what sort of a challenge which 49 Dragonfly Barbara and Louisa Hansel did together. And I think the prompt was gold and pockets. I think that was the prompt. So I've made these pockets with gold edges. So I want to use the gold again, but I want to do something like that also, just on a smaller scale, so I can put my little journaling cards in. So I can't actually remember now 100% how I did it, but I think it's fairly explanatory. So I'm just going to look for a nice one. Talk about the crust. This Trust and Obey is one of my favorite hymns, but I don't think I'm going to use it. The Anchor Holds, I love this song also. So what I'm going to do is, obviously I need to create a pocket, but I'm going to cut it down so it's not so big. I can cut straight because unfortunately this type of paper can't go through my cutting machine, it just tears. I'm just going to see if I can do a straight line. I'm just trying to keep to the notes. I think I'm going to fold it over like this. Yeah. So here is a pocket, and then I'll make another pocket there. The main thing is I need to see if my pocket is going to fit. Yeah, that's going to, or my cards, my journaling card is going to fit in there. Okay, so first of all, obviously, I need to put glue. Okay, and then I'm going to put glue. Yeah, I might actually also put washi tape on it just to create some edges and definition. Okay, I just need to cut the axis off here. I think I'm going to use this washi tape. So I love the soft pink colors. So the idea is to put it here sort of just at the edges. So maybe I will put this on top, and then I can put it like this. Okay, yes, I like that. I just need to make still sure that I can put these little cards inside. Yeah, can't really go much more smaller. I must be careful when I put this on here, not to take too much space. And then I want to put here at the edge also. This will just be for decoration. So I think I'll cut this in half. So it's just there at the edge where the pocket is, so you can see where the So now we can put these two cards in here. This one in there and that one in there. So we have a little pocket to go there. Obviously we need to get a doily. I think this doily, which is part of my printables, works perfectly with this. I will link my doilies also down below if you're interested in picking that up. I think I've got so many doilies. You will definitely find a color that goes with any of your color schemes. Okay, so the idea is to have a little cluster here. I'm going to use some pattern paper. Okay, so let's tuck that also in there. Some of this pattern paper. I could have actually made the envelope with this pattern paper also, but I didn't have any printed out. And by the time I sort of was ready to do my video, I sort of didn't feel like putting my printer on and print things out. So I just thought I'm just going to go with what I have. I think we need a little bit more texture. I've got this tissue paper, which I think worked perfectly with this color scheme, the purples and the blues. So I am going to cut a piece from here to create a little bit of crunchiness and layers. So let's see how that looks. Maybe I'll just tear it a little bit. Don't want it to look too perfect. There you go. Tucking up behind there. Maybe that layer. Okay, that's not upside down, but it doesn't matter. Then a purple doily, and then some. That's also upside down, but never mind. Okay, so let's tuck that there. Do like that. No, I don't like this upside down. I think I'm going to turn it like that. I think the music is fine if it's upside down. I don't like the crosses upside down. So I think I'm going to actually do it like that. I like the doily coming out there. So my tip with classes is to hold it like this and use your stapler. So I'm just going to staple everything together, sort of where the point where everything meet. So nobody even can see that. So my cluster is ready. So I'm going to see if I can put it here. So the idea for me is the crust to come out here. And maybe something like, or maybe I should put the scene there. Okay, let's just commit. Don't even know if you're going to be able to see it with all this background, but I think you get the idea. Maybe in hindsight I should have not made the background so busy and purpley. I can't say you live and learn, but this is now the last clear sticker paper I have to print on, as I mentioned previously. I like that. That looks very nice. I think it looks, that's how I'm going to do it. So basically, I'm rather going to put this paper here at the top, because there's some space needed to fill. So the easy way to do it is with double-sided tape. So what I do is I just turn it over like this. Well, that was the idea. Okay, now I can decide if I want to add anything, maybe some flowers. I think if I want flowers, that looks actually quite nice. I like that. I think I'm going to do, as I always say, I don't like these corners. I always feel to myself I want to cover it up. Okay, so we can see if we need some other flowers, like maybe something popping out there, maybe there. There we go. Let's see if we can do anything with this one. Maybe we can put a tucker there in. Maybe not enough space. Maybe there. So I'm just thinking, do we need anything else? Maybe a cross over here. Maybe I can do some journaling also there. Maybe my date and things like that. What I want to do is, okay, I think I've mixed a little bit of purple there. I'll just sort of put it there. Pretend it's supposed to be, ooh. Okay, see what I've done now. So I think what we need to do is maybe pop a flower in there, cut it in half, and pop a flower there. This is now exactly what I didn't want it. As I often say, this is not my study Bible. This is just my art Bible. So if I cover something up, it's not the end of it. Okay, I've put it over there. So I like the idea that it's coming up a little bit, but not too much. So it looks like this. Okay, that's interesting. Don't hope the flowers is now overkill, but you know what we forgot? And maybe you've screamed it while I was doing it. What about this? And I completely forgot to keep space for this. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it on there. And the idea was to put it like this, but I don't know. Maybe I should put it over here. Okay, while we're watching me putting the burnt up there, the letters, so quickly want to talk to you about my main takeaways from the burnt offering. It is basically that was a voluntarily offer, so you had to volunteer to do it. You want to do it, and it was also the offer that cost you the most. And as I said in the devotional, it's interesting that Abram, when God asked him to offer Isaac, he said, "I want you to do a burnt offering," and it took him everything. His son, his only beloved son, he gave up as a burnt offering to the Lord. And that's a beautiful picture for us also. Jesus, who was God's only beloved son, God gave him up. It took everything from God to give up this offer. And also Jesus also gave his whole life. He didn't hold anything back. He could have said not to go to the cross, but he decided to go to the cross for us. And that it cost him his whole life. I mean, he was so anxious about going to the cross that he sweat blood, and he asked God to take this cup of suffering away from him if it's necessary. But he said, "Not my will, your will." And he gave up his life voluntarily. He chose to do it, just as God also chose to send his son to earth. And the picture for us is also obviously, when we serve the Lord, it must be wholeheartedly. It must be sacrificial, and we need to give our whole life for Him, not just parts of it. And we must do it voluntarily, not reluctantly. We must do it because we want to, and we love the Lord, and we're compelled and just directed by the Spirit that we want to give our whole life to the Lord. So yeah, that's just the main point. Obviously, I'm not going to go too deep in the devotional. I'd like you to pick it up for yourself and study it. But this is the main things I got from the burnt offering. What I will do is I'll write it with the black here at the bottom. The stencil, it's a bit smaller. So I'm going to see if I'm going to give it a bow. Okay, let's see how that looks. So I will write down off camera there what my takeaway was. And I've circled my thing. I put burnt offering there. So yeah, I think I like how it turned out at the end. Clear sticker paper sort of melting there in the background. And this pocket, as I said, the only thing I would change, I probably would not do this flower here in the middle, but I had to cover up my mess. And yeah, maybe just too many flowers, but yeah. What I've done is I've actually taken the flower away. I didn't like it. I just moosed it up there with the paint and make paint splatters. I've colored the offering in, and I've just made that edge around there. So I like more how that is going to look. I'm just going to do my journaling now off camera. And yeah, I really appreciate you watching. Thank you very much for each one who picked up this printable. I really appreciate it. I don't take your support for granted. I really, really appreciate your kindness and support. I will link the details for the devotion down below if you're interested in picking it up. And I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you enjoy digging deeper and just looking at these offerings, how it points to Jesus and how it's relevant to our lives. So you must have a fantastic weekend. God bless. Please remember to like this video and subscribe if you haven't. And I'm talking to you on Tuesday then. Bye-bye.